Hello, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. So, still taking in the great news from the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. Really just watching a lot of people's opinions, and I have to say, it's been really funny to see the maximalists and the haters of XRP trying to respond to this whole decision. The way they're still trying to say, oh, technically Ripple didn't win, and it's so funny because Ripple won where it matters. At the end of the day, the main thing that the SEC wanted from this lawsuit is to be able to say that XRP is a security. Point blank. So the fact that they didn't get that, they won. That's what Ripple needed. They can pay a fine. Ripple have been paying 200 million. Is it 200 million or 100 million? It's one or the other, either 100 million or $200 million on legal fees to fight the lawsuit. So you think they can't pay a fine? Of course. It was never about the fines. They can deal with that. That's not a problem. The issue was, is XRP going to be deemed a security? Because that could have killed their business, or at least stifled their business within America. Right? And Ripple won that. So that's where it counts. So when you're seeing a lot of these people who are trying to still make out that this was bad and how this hasn't been positive for the crypto space, these are simply maximalists. They really are. They're just not happy that we got the decision that we wanted and what we needed. And I find it so strange because little do they know what Ripple has just done has actually helped the whole crypto space. So when you get people making comments like this who are people from the crypto industry, who are like journalists within the crypto space and things like that, it just makes me realize how ignorant some people are. Because Ripple have just helped the whole industry. Now don't get me wrong, they were obviously fighting for themselves, but that's not the point. It's like people can't even be objective to say, hey, this is great for the crypto space, at least. They still have to try and spin some kind of narrative on it to try and make Ripple look bad. It's so bizarre, it really is. But yeah, I've been thinking about this lately, since I've seen this. And look, let's make no mistake about it. The SEC lost. That's the truth of the matter. They can try and say what they wanted to say, because I saw their terrible response about this, and you could tell it was a PR spin to try and make themselves look somewhat good, which just didn't work, because we can clearly all tell that they lost. Everybody knows that they lost. All mainstream media are saying that Ripple won, because that's what it is. The main argument of what they tried to play, they lost. Simple as that. And so I've been thinking about this now. The SEC look really bad, right? We've already got the Hinman emails that made this look like the whole reason why the lawsuit happened was due to corruption and basically trying to help ETH, being paid by people of ETH to support them and bring down Ripple. That's the way it looks on the surface, okay? And they've now lost this lawsuit as well. So that's two big blows to the SEC. Not only do they now not look trustworthy, they've also lost and made themselves lose a lot of credibility, right? Because it shows that, do they really know what they're talking about? When their main arguments they're losing? It's just really damaged their credibility and made them look terrible. And so I've been thinking about this now, and I've just got a theory in my head, and it's not a conspiracy theory or anything like that. It's just a thought. It really is just a thought. And this isn't something I'm hoping for, because I support all cryptos when it's said and done. So this isn't something I'm wishing or anything like that, but it's just got me thinking. So think about this. XRP's got legal clarity now. Are the SEC going to try and appeal this decision? I'm not 100% sure, because I've seen how they've been during this whole lawsuit, so it makes me think maybe they will. The only thing that makes me think that maybe they won't is because if they make this appeal and they lose the appeal, it's official at that point. It can't be argued no more, okay? And that would mean that whenever they try to make these future arguments against other crypto firms, they can use the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit as precedent, right? And that would give clarity to judges, and they would possibly follow suit and say, yeah, these arguments stand up, so we're going to, pretty much apply the same kind of logic here. So if that gets appealed and they still lose, it's going to really affect their stance of wanting to try and take over the crypto market. Because at the moment, they can kind of argue, well, yeah, this judge has said that, but that's just one judge, so you can look at this differently. Whereas if they go to this case and they look at, yes, the judge ruled against them, and then they appealed and they lost that as well, it's going to be kind of hard for a judge to look at that and think the SEC are in the right. Of course, isn't it? Because they've appealed it and still lost. So it's very possible that they will leave XRP alone now and Ripple, simply because they don't want to mess up their future litigations against other crypto firms. So I think at the moment XRP is going to be in the clear, but I'm not 100% on that, being honest. But it's got me thinking, right? Gary Gensler, he was refusing to even say that ETH isn't a security. Okay? Now, if you think about this, when the whole Hinman emails and stuff like that happened, Gary Gensler wasn't in office at that time. Okay? So let's just say this was a whole thing of corruption and whatnot, and Bill Hinman was in on it. I don't know about Jay Clayton, maybe as he was the one who put the lawsuit forward, but I don't know. But now let's say Gary Gensler's got in, and he's obviously not a part of that. He was never involved at that time. So in his head, he's like, well, no, I'm not sure. I think I might look at ETH as a security. I might think that Ethereum's a security, so I'm not going to say it gets a pass. So think about it like this. Let's all be real. We've said this from the get-go. Ethereum had an ICO, right? They actually had one. So if you was going to sue Ethereum, it'd be a lot easier to win than it would have been against Ripple. Because they actually did it, and they admitted it. They full-blown admitted it. It's out there on video. You can see it on Twitter and YouTube. So it's got me thinking, because of how bad this is making the SEC look now from this loss, I'm wondering, would they now sue Ethereum to try and save face? Because I'll be honest with you, I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think if they sue Ethereum, I think it's going to be a slam dunk. I really do, because there's evidence of them admitting to it. Because they haven't really got much of an argument here. They can maybe try and use some of Ripple's arguments from their lawsuit, of course, but theirs has been a lot more damaging. And so I really am just wondering, like, is ETH now going to be in the firing line for them to try and gain some more credibility back? Maybe just sue Ethereum and get a quick win, and then that's them, maybe looking somewhat like they've saved face. I don't know. It's just got me wondering. It really has. Again, I'm not saying I've got no inside information on this or anything like that, so I'm not trying to say this like I have any kind of credibility to it. But it just makes sense, because one of the things that the whole XRP army have been saying from the get-go is like, why are you not looking into ETH when ETH is so blatantly done exactly what you're complaining about? You've come after Ripple, but like the founders of Ethereum have actually told you that they did this. Like, why wouldn't that be the first company that you go for? So I feel like they'd have the easiest case going against them. So, man, I don't know. It's just got me wondering, because I feel like Gary Gensler is still going to go on this huge tirade. I don't really think this is actually going to stop him overall. I do think it may change his approach, because obviously I think he's kind of seeing now that his arguments that they're trying to use is not really holding any weight, which is obvious because they're in the wrong. They're not acting with good faith, and they're not acting with allegiance to the law. So it's understandable why it's not holding weight, because what they're doing is just ridiculous. But yeah, it's just a thought that I've had. So we will see, man. We will see. But look, we're out the woods. We can finally relax. XRP's here. We've got the legal clarity. So I'm not here to worry too much about Ethereum. And let me just say this. I'm not a maxi, so I hope this doesn't happen to Ethereum, because it would be sad to see this happen to crypto in general, because it's just going to stifle the whole industry. but it would be more fair to go for Ethereum than it would have been to have gone for Ripple. And with knowing what was in those emails from the Hinman documents, I mean, yeah, like Ethereum, it seems like they have a very shady connection with the SEC. Let's just say that. So time will tell how that pans out. But let's just continue to bask in the glory of our victory, guys. That's what it's all about. Let's see how things continue to go and pan out for XRP, because that's what I'm focused on. But what do you guys think? Do you think the SEC could next go for Ethereum because of this? Do you think this is going to be their next line of attack to try and save some face? Or do you not agree? Do you think that just sounds like a wild conspiracy theory with no real basis to make the argument? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.